Hi pet lovers, thank you for joining Gina's grooming channel. Today's subject is going to be on clipper blade maintenance and storage. Now this subject is incredibly important. I want to say thank you to our viewer April, who in the comments below on one of our other videos suggested that we make this video. So thank you April very much for your suggestion, because it is a very important subject since it's going to save us money. It's also going to make our salon or working with our pets at home much safer. Now, before we jump in, I'm going to be showing you the anatomy, and I'm going to be showing you maintenance on the professional type of A5 style clipper blades, regardless of the length size. But I want you to know that if you have a proprietary clipper that you bought online, or you have a professional pet trimmer like a wall bravura, this logic still applies to those clipper blades. So as I'm showing you the anatomy of this particular type of professional grooming clipper blade, know that that logic applies to any clippers to keep them clean, disinfected, and in good working condition. So let's zoom in and show you the anatomy of a clipper blade, so then we can proceed from there and show you how we maintain it. Okay, so as you can see on the blade, we have a front plate, okay? And then we have a back plate, and this back plate moves back and forth once it's attached to a clipper's drive assembly. So you can see where this moving part can cause friction. So now that we know that we have some friction points to focus on, let's talk about the three things that are most important when maintaining your clipper blades. So the first focal point in maintaining these clipper blades correctly is to make sure that they are free of debris. The second important factor of maintaining these properly is going to be making sure that they get disinfected. And you want to use a disinfectant, okay, that is appropriate for machine parts. And the third focus on maintaining these guys is to properly oil them, okay? So we're gonna talk about all three of these things in detail. I'm gonna zoom in and show you guys. But just so you know, you wanna keep clean, free of debris. You wanna make sure that it's disinfected, and you wanna make sure that your clipper blades are nicely oiled. So let's talk about keeping your clipper blade free of debris using a brush. So guys, you can get a little blade brush, you can buy one. Also, you can use a clipper brush. This comes with clippers when you buy them. So just know that there are different little brushes that you can use to brush through the teeth of your clipper blades. I'm also gonna show you in a pinch, if you don't have a brush, or you're somewhere where you left your brushes at home or in your home salon, you can also use a toothbrush. Just make sure that you don't use this for any other purpose than obviously cleaning your blades, and now it's repurposed for this purpose. So let's zoom in and just show you what I mean about brushing your blade. So after a blade is used, it can have a lot of hair and gunk around it. So what we want to do is push this back plate to the side, make sure that we clean everything around. So then we go ahead, brush through, clean everything. Okay. Now this is going to make sure that we have no hair stuck in those teeth. Now guys, when I'm saying brush out hair, between these teeth we can also get things like fecal matter. Fecal matter carries bacteria. So when you're brushing out your clipper blade, just make sure you know you want to disinfect and clean your brush after use as well. All right, so now we have brushed the blade, let's go ahead and take a look at disinfecting it. All right, guys, when we're talking about disinfecting metal items, right, machine items, it's a little different than what we just talked about disinfecting your brushes. You do want to use special spray that is meant for that purpose. Now, fortunately, in pet grooming, we have some options, but what's great is we have sprays that not only disinfect, but they also lubricate and they cool the blade. And how these work is that if your blade needs disinfection, but also if you're shaving down and you need a blade to be a coolant, you want to make sure that you use your coolant in a place that is far away from the dog and far away from your face. Okay, we want to get really close to it. We want to spray that, okay? So this is the coolant, but this is also a disinfectant and lubricant. It's not going to take care of the oiling that we're going to do, right, in our step 3, our next discussion, but just to show you that this is a great way to be able to disinfect your blades and make sure that you're not stripping oil if you're using something that's a household cleaner that's not designed for this purpose. So make sure that you have blade coolant, lubricant, disinfectant. This only use in a pinch, and just know that you're probably going to be stripping very necessary oil that's going to prevent friction on the pets. Now guys, the first and second thing, that's the brushing of your blade and the spraying of your blade, keeping it disinfected throughout the day. These are things that you do as a groomer, just going on through your day, going on through your day. The next step, very important step, is something that I do on my breaks or at the end of the day, sometimes in the beginning of the day, and this is oiling your clipper blades. So as we saw the friction points in the back, right? This back plate is moving. We have to know that we have to oil those friction points, because if we don't, not only is it going to cause heat with the friction, it's also going to make this blade have a much higher chance of getting stuck. So if we're not cleaning this, you're going to be sending this to your sharpener a lot more often because it's going to get gunked up. There's going to be things that need to be really cleaned out, and when they take it apart, that's what it's going to take. So if you maintain it for the life of the blade, this really should last you a lifetime. So let's go ahead and get close up. But let me talk about the different types of oils that exist for you. So different manufacturers make different oil. We have clipper oil, you have scissor oil. Basically, it's all doing the same thing. And again, remember, you have your lubricating, coolant, and disinfecting spray that you're using. Okay, but this is going to be the more intensive oiling that you have to do on the back of your clipper. When you're using it after a few uses, you want to make sure you check it, make sure that back plate is moving back and forth. Don't push it too far back, or you're going to have to get a screwdriver and push it back, or you call your sharpener to fix that. So you just want to push that back plate just enough. Okay, just make sure it's not going too far to the side. And I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to show you the friction points using what I have is a needle-nosed oil dispenser. So this is really scissor oil, but it really helps to focus my oil drops. And before I show you this, just always know you're not going to put oily blade onto a pet. We're just going to oil the friction points and then wipe off any excess off of the blade. Okay, zooming in, what I'm going to be focusing on, I'm going to push the blade all the way to the side. Okay, and here, up here is one friction point. That's one here. And then I'm also going to do it down here. Okay, down below these two bars. I'm going to push it to the other side. I'm going to put a drop of oil here and here. Okay, those bars again. And then I'm going to push it around to really kind of swoosh it. Okay. Okie doke. And then I try to get a little bit in there in the middle. Anywhere that it will be moving that I couldn't get from the sides. And push it side to side. Make sure it's working well. And then we wipe. Okay, now we've got a nicely lubricated clipper blade. So this guy has been brushed, it has been disinfected, has also been cooled and slightly lubricated with the spray, but now also given a proper oil treatment. So this guy is in great condition and ready to go. Okay guys, biggest note of caution that I can give you with clipper blades, and it's a sad one, is that if you drop your blade and any of these teeth chip, I don't care what size you're using, if these teeth chip, in the back or in the front, this has to be thrown away. It is no longer safe to be used. So just know, and it's a nice segue into our storage component of this lecture, is that you want to make sure that these guys stay as safe as possible from getting thrown off your table, getting kicked off your table. It happens sometimes, but just make sure that they're maintained. But if one of these teeth break, I don't care where it is on the chain, it's toast. You got to throw it away and buy a new one. All right, guys, now that we know that we're going to be cleaning, we're going to be disinfecting, right? We're going to be making sure that it's oiled. Now we've got a well-maintained blade. We're also going to keep it an eye, make sure that none of those teeth are broken. Now we can look at proper blade storage, and also I'm going to talk about transporting blades safely. All right, guys, now that we know we have to protect these blade teeth at all costs, again, it's trash if we can't. So we have different caddies that exist for you. The main thing I want to talk to you guys about blade storage is do not just throw them in a box. Do not just throw them in a bag. You want to make sure they're not rattling against each other. That's going to increase the chances of them breaking their teeth. So again, you don't want to get those trashed. So there exists a lot of caddies for you. This I keep in my drawer. I'm going to kind of zoom in and show you guys that this is where I kind of separate my blades. I have my 5-in-1s over here, and this is where I can keep my regular size blades. I make sure that I store them up so that nothing is rattling on the bottom. There is a case on top, and this way I can protect all of my blades. So here is a basic caddy. If we can't get too fancy, they make these caddies, these little boxes in cardboard as well. So you can go and put your blades separated, and there's a little bit of foam on this one so you can protect your blades, especially if you need to transport them. So just know that if you do not buy an actual plastic caddy, you can go for something a little less fancy and store it in a cardboard box, but just make sure that it's designed for that so that you can keep your blades separated and safe. Now, if we are transporting blades or we want to get really fancy, there are cases that are made to transport your blades. So this is something that you can basically take with you if you're doing house calls, or if you want to just store your blades in a nice place in your home if you're working with your pets at home. So just know that out there, I'll put some links down below to some of the stuff that looks cool to me. Gosh, this guy I've had, I can't even tell you how long I've had it. But it's kept it's a great working order. It stores all the blades that I need when I'm doing house calls and anything else that I need. So just know that these exist out there for you if you want to get a little more fancy. And if you really can't be fancy at all, and that's okay because I do it too, is I save the box. So these are my butter cuts. They come in a box. And so if I'm transporting my equipment, I will just plop it in a box. That way it's not going to rattle against anything else. So just know that I do that. If it comes in a different kind of case, like these Artero wides that I just bought a couple of weeks ago, so jazzed about them. I'll do a video about those guys. But just know this is how I'm storing them for now, because my case doesn't have any room for wide blades. So there's nothing much I can do. I guess I could store them up and down. But for now, until I figure out a solution for wides, which are kind of new, I'm just going to be keeping the original packaging. That way I can keep them in my drawer along with my other blades as I'm using throughout the day. Make sure that they don't rub against other blades or get damaged. All right, guys, high-level review. So for maintenance, we want to make sure that we clean, keep them free of hair and debris. We want to make sure that we disinfect. We want to make sure that we oil. If we do the three of those things, your clipper blades are going to keep in really, really good condition. We want to make sure that we store them properly. It's okay if you don't want to go fancy. You can go very basic with cardboard, but I will tell you that once you take care of your blades, they should service you for a very, very long time. Yes, you may need to see your clipper sharpener once in a while, but if you keep it all maintained like this, it's going to be kept to a minimum. Guys, thank you so much. I will definitely be putting down below links to other videos that may help you, links to some of the products that I use that may help you, links to some of the caddies that I would recommend. And guys, always remember, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below. We are an active channel listening to you. And just like we listened to April, we want to bring you guys relevant information. So thanks for being engaging. Thanks for your comments. And thank you for giving us the opportunity to be able to address some of the questions that you may have in pet grooming. Guys, appreciate the thumbs up if this is helpful and you like this video. Really appreciate you subscribing. For all those who subscribed, we really appreciate you coming back. We'll see you soon.